and welcome back to another episode of Agents of Fandom. I am your host, Kayla, the Duchess of Fansbury.
And I'm your co-host for this, Suffragette Jasmine.
And as always, Agents of Fandom is a podcast that explores mystical realms of sci-fi and fantasy, the magic of creativity, from comics and television to anime and gaming. We take a look at some of our favorite pastimes and up-and-coming content. Thank you for that, Jasmine. That was lovely.
You're welcome.
We need to eventually do an episode of Doctor Who.
There's probably going to be several episodes of Doctor Who. That's why I'm kind of like avoiding it, because I know it's when it starts, it's just going to be a floodgate.
It'll be a mini-series, basically. It'll be like, here's our Doctor Who series.
Like how I need to do The Magicians, episode 2.
Yep.
Season 2.
And one day I will do Dragon Ball Z, but I will only do it when I can have someone who will appreciate.
Man, I don't know. Like I said, I'd rather watch Naruto than Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is just...
And we could do that too. I will say there's a lot more layers, I feel like, in Naruto, but both are enjoyable.
So Connor started watching Dragon Ball Z. No, it's been on cable. It's been on TV.
It's probably Dragon Ball Super.
Cable, I have to sleep. Probably.
So that's like, if you've never watched Dragon Ball Z, watching Dragon Ball Super is just like throwing yourself into the pool and having no idea.
That's not where to start.
That is not where to start. No, not at all. So, as always, we're going to start with our artist spotlight. I chose Koyuki Panda. She's an artist that can be found on Instagram at Koyuki Panda. That's Koyuki Panda. On her Instagram, she's prescribed as your local Black girl mangaka. And y'all know I love the manga, love the Japanese anime, love the Japanese arts, culture, whatnot. So it's really dope to see a Black girl who is incorporating Blackness into that style. She's really cool. You should definitely check her out. She has a shop. Support. So yeah, that's why I wish I should have saved that for an anime episode, but whatever. So yes, you should definitely check Koyuki Panda out.
We'll revisit.
She has some little video. I think she has a YouTube channel too, but she has all her socials up on her Instagram, and we'll have that in the link for this episode. So
nice.
Interesting enough,
I haven't done that yet, by the way.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about that and all of the stuff.
I
gotta work on that.
That's fine. Everyone, y'all figured it out. You'll know.
Hopefully it'll be there.
As I heard from one of my what I call YouTube mentors, you got to start. You don't always start perfect. So.
Yep. I was working an event today. It was all about women leadership, and they were talking. One of the keynotes was talking about how sometimes, like a lot of times, people raise their sons to be very confident, but they raise their daughters to be perfect, and how women are very hesitant to apply to any new job unless they could check off all of the check boxes. And I was like, oh my God, me. Yeah. If I can't do every single thing on an application, I'm like, oh, I'm not qualified.
Yeah.
But a guy will literally just BS. Sure, I can do that and figure it out later. Yep. I was like,
he'll be like, we need to do that. I've always wanted to work at Google. Cool.
Yep, I'll learn coding. Sure, I can do this. I am Python's fluent. I don't know.
And then that spirit of female empowerment and whatnot, we are actually going to be talking about Enola Holmes. Now,
I did a great segue.
That was, and it was natural too. You didn't even think about it.
No.
And yes. Look, is this under our current genres of things we talk about? No, maybe. Who cares? It's Sherlock Holmes.
It's not sci-fi, but it is classic fiction. It is retellings of classic fiction, which I will allow because it's our podcast and we'll do whatever we want.
And also Henry Cavill. So,
Henry Cavill.
That was
yes,
huge factor. And actually, no, honestly, I enjoyed the whole cast. So, Enola Holmes is a film that's out on Netflix. It's streaming right now. It's been out for about since September-ish, and we're, oh my god, it's already October 7th, but we're in October now, so it's been out past, you guys know the rule. What's Jasmine's rule for how long it has to be out?
4 weeks.
Well, okay, so then I guess technically.
Well, by the time they hear this is like 5th in line. By the time they hear us, this will be in November.
Yes. So the concept of the movie is that Enola Holmes is the sister of the famed Sherlock Holmes, and she must embark on a mystery of her own to find her wickedly clever mother, who goes missing on her 16th birthday. I came up with that myself.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Also, as a sidebar, if I can't edit out all the car sound, I apologize. It's very hot in my house and I have the window open because I'll be damned if I'm turning on the AC in October.
I can barely hear it, so I think you're good.
Good. I will probably be able to hear it later. They choose this time to start being on a moped, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, October weather, mopeds are the best way to transport yourself. So
I feel like mopeds are just death traps.
I actually was
even worse than motorcycles.
Oddly enough, I was driving home and I saw these two dudes on motorcycles, and they were trying to do is it wheelies where you lift your motorcycle up and balance it?
Yes.
And that whole time I was just like, I do not want to see you guys spin out in front of me.
That is so dangerous. I work all kinds of crazy hours due to the nature of my job, and I came home off the highway. It was at the stoplight. It had to have been about midnight. There was a car, so not next to me. So I was behind a car at the stoplight, and the car next to him was doing a burnout.
What?
At the stoplight. And I'm just and the back of his car started, wiggling a little bit. And I was like, oh my God, I do not want to have an accident right now at midnight in this part of the neighborhood because you decided to do a burnout because you think you look cool.
I like how we're at this point where we see people doing this risky stuff and all we can think is please don't involve me in this, please.
Yeah, please don't hit me or involve me. If you spin out, go inside of a ditch.
Oh my gosh, because now I'm should I stop my car, help you out? What do I do? Am I supposed to go find your motor? I hope your motorcycle doesn't come flying into my windshield.
Oh, I would totally just stop and be like, I'm going to wait here with you for medical attention. Also, I'm going to tell the police you're stupid. And this is what happened.
So that's actually
Sherlock Holmes.
So when I remember watching this, it was being promoted on Henry Cavill's Instagram page because I follow him, and the first thing I thought, at first I was just like, oh, Sherlock. And then I saw him in a suit and I was like, oh, Henry Cavill in a suit. And then I saw Millie Bobby Brown as Enola. It's like, oh, she's a cool actress. So it was just a lot of, it was a really great cast. It's Helen Bonham Carter. She plays Enola's mother, which I was watching this with my mom, and we were having this argument of whether or not that was just Enola's mother or if it was all of their mothers.
Eudora.
Yeah.
Eudora Holmes. No, she is the mother of all of them. Because they make mention,
my mom felt like there was some comments in there about possibly she was the second, like Sherlock and Mycroft's stepmother, because he said something like, oh, it was my money and that's my house and I put her in charge. And I was like, no, I think that's just how Mycroft talks to his mom. That's not shocking. Y'all talk to y'all moms like that nowadays.
Right. I feel like maybe it was supposed to be, his father's money after his father died, and his father was supposed to leave him the inheritance, but she was using the money.
Yeah, right. This is what century? This is Europe. So, it makes complete sense that in his will, he would send his money to his eldest, not to his widow, which is messed up.
Right.
And there's just this huge age gap between I don't know. I actually have no idea how much older Mycroft is than Sherlock.
I don't know, but we can all agree that there was a large age difference between Sherlock and Enola. Because I assume Mycroft's the oldest, right?
Yes, he is. He's the eldest brother. Because remember, he was
which I think they said that.
He was little brother.
Oh, yeah. Maybe she is a stepmother.
See?
Enola is so much younger. Yeah, you have some valid points here.
So I can neither confirm nor deny that. But it was, that would just be a whole other element. And also, too, it makes sense, the kind of distance between the siblings. This, I assume this is kind of an early, I don't know. Because at first I was like, was this like an earlier Sherlock in his career, like where he was around, where people knew who he was, but still like he didn't have Watson with him, right? So
right,
potentially it's still earlier in his career where he doesn't have like that continual companionship. And let me just say, first off, they was coming for him in this movie, and it was hilarious. Like,
oh my god, yes.
Almost every female character that he talked to was just like, you're a horrible brother. I hope you don't abandon your sister this time. And he's just like, well, damn, I just came here to solve a mystery.
So I kind of get, well, you know, we'll talk about that whole plot point later, about the whole abandoning,
yeah,
and everything.
And I mean, like, I'm just kind of just my general thoughts on the movie. I did enjoy it. I thought I liked the thematics. It wasn't grating to me to have Enola break the fourth wall and like.
No, that made me think, because basically she throughout this entire movie, she comes into her own as a Holmes.
Right.
And I feel like that was her own flavor of Holmes.
Right.
And I thought it worked. I thought it was pretty cute. And like, because, you know, in other Sherlock Holmes, he's like often talking to himself.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, talking the problem out in his head, and she's doing the exact same.
Yeah, except she's acknowledging that she's being witnessed versus Sherlock. And that would actually make sense character-wise, because Sherlock would be the type where he's thinking it out and would completely ignore you, right?
Right, but no one else in the movie acknowledged her break the fourth wall.
I know. That would...
No one looked at her weird.
And I think that's good, you know? I think
because that was in her mind, like her own little mind palace, as
right,
a few other Sherlocks,
right? Of like how she, and then also too, like how they incorporate her relationship with her mom with like basically the Scrabble tiles of, you know, solving codes, and how they were rearranging her mind.
What kind of like childhood?
I mean,
dear God.
I mean, and that's, you know, a huge thing is that her mom is like a suffragette, right? So she was ready to go to the extreme. And I will say this. We'll get to that later, but like her mom clearly was just like, I am preparing my daughter to be to go on without me, and to be the complete opposite of what society demands her to be. Like the whole part of where Enola was just like, I must become something that my brothers would never think of me, and her first thought was to get dressed up in like a corset and this dress,
be proper.
Like that's the whole point, like hiding in plain sight. And, you know, the pop-up storytelling, which they like kind of more so implemented at the beginning of the movie and a little bit throughout, the kind of inner shots between like when she was fighting and like throwing it back to like all of her experiences, we could see how she was pulling from what her mother had taught her, whether it was like how to fight or whether it was like,
right.
discern.
And like, you know, her mother literally was her everything.
Yeah.
Like her father died, her brothers left home when she was very little. And, you know, she's going through this adventure to try to find, you know, her mom, the only thing that she has ever like held on to, and like all the while, like becoming her own person.
Right. And the mystery too was, it wasn't just like, where is her mom? It's like, did her mom set this up to make her come find her? Right. Was this an actual test, or was it just like, you know what I mean? Because her mom was like, oh, I had to leave you, but I didn't leave you because I didn't love you. But you left her clues, right, and you left her money. And also, too, I will say this. I don't know. Maybe it was just like a situation of like her mom hasn't talked to Mycroft in forever. Could be stepmom, could not be. But to not know the level of dickishness that your eldest son was. Oh so that God. When he returned home and basically was just literally, he said to her face, we'll break you down and turn you into who you should be.
Yeah.
That was the part where I was looking at Sherlock like, you need to say something. But then it's so in line with his character that he wouldn't.
He never did. Yeah.
I mean, because all the versions of Sherlock that I've seen, he would literally be that selfish kind of like, it's none of my business, even if that's your family, right? Like, that's the one thing about the Holmes family is that they're very dysfunctional. Especially what I've seen between like just Mycroft and Sherlock, and the ones with Benedict Cumberbatch, and the one with Robert Downey Jr. I don't think Mycroft showed up until like the third movie.
There weren't three. There was two of them.
I swear there was three.
Was there three?
You should Google that.
I'm gonna Google it. I'm Googling it.
But you know, because and also too, there's this. I didn't know if Enola was a character that was like literally just created, or if like this entire time I just, out of my love of Sherlock, didn't even realize that he had a sister. Mm-hmm. I think fitting her in wasn't too far-fetched. Just from the nature of how they said, because she's basically there's just like, look, yeah, Nola's their sister and she's here, but just like how Mycroft sometimes is there, sometimes he's not. You know, I could totally see like in all the other versions of Sherlock where they never mention her, it's because she's off doing her own thing. You know, she wouldn't be, even though like at the end he's like, oh, I'll make her my ward or whatever, which actually that would have been super dope. I would watch a whole show about that. I hope that actually
happened. But then, I hope that happened like quote unquote off screen. There would be by the way, there is no third Robert Downey Jr. Movie yet.
Dang, did I just like shove half of 2 into one whole movie by itself?
I think you did.
That's hilarious. But yeah, that's oh, and then also too, because of this movie, I had to Google levels of English nobility, because I was like, what is it? Viscount, Viscount of Maxbury, whatever his long ass name was. I was like, what? Something. I was like, what is that? And so I know it's like King, the Dukes and Duchesses, and then though that level is kind of like, I don't know. That's another Google question. And then also
Viscount.
I don't feel like that's how he said it in the movie.
Yeah, they did. Hang on. You're probably not gonna be able to. It's I try to get it to say it, but I realize I have my headphones on. I don't even know what it's doing. Anyway, it's Viscount. Viscount.
Okay. Well, yeah, I see that it says ranks. It's Duke, Marquess, Earl, Viscount,
Marquis.
Oh, jeez. Marquis, Earl, Viscount, and Baron.
Good job.
Thank you. It was a struggle.
I can tell.
And then we had some returning faces. We had Finn from Hunger Games, right?
Yeah, I literally just looked that up. So Finn from Hunger Games, which I did not even recognize him until I was like, who is this guy? I was like, oh, it's Finnick O'Dear.
I saw it when he was talking, and I was just like, my mind was just like, where did I see this man from before?
I didn't even get it. I had to look him up.
We have our, return. Like we got Henry Cavill, Millie Bobby Brown, Helen Bonham Carter. We have
Fiona Shaw.
Yep.
Mrs. Dursley.
Yep.
We also have Madame Maxine, but some Harry Potter characters.
Who?
Frances de la Tour, the Dowager. She was Madame Maxine.
See, I didn't even catch that.
And she was also Aunt Imogene in Alice in Wonderland.
Oh.
We should do Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, we should do that. We have Susan Wokoma, who played Edith, who is the Black woman who was the jujitsu master who checked Sherlock on his privilege as he came in. Like, not only was she like teaching jujitsu illegally upstairs, she was also selling banned books and had a tea shop and bakery. I just loved that character.
I loved it.
Susan Wokoma, she was in Chewing Gum. She was the sister, which was, I'm trying to think if she was the oldest sister or the younger sister.
I have no idea. I've not seen that.
But yeah, I mean, like, I just love the cast. I thought everyone did their parts very well. I thought that I was just watching it, and I was just thinking to myself, and I don't know if you thought this too, but I was like, is Mycroft screwing the headmistress?
I definitely had that thought, and I wanted to get to that point.
When I first saw her, when the headmistress came rolling up on her little like automobile,
she's a modern woman.
And that was so hilarious to me because as soon as she
Modern
got
teacher.
off and the way she was acting, I was like, that's Apatuya. And then
yeah. And I she was so obvious. Like, at least Mycroft was like, or like,
I don't know, because he came running out kissing her hand, so he was like.
But it feels weird that like he was showing anyone attention or like affection. I don't like. You know how like sometimes like Sherlock Holmes would like show like attention, affection just to get like what he wanted. Mm-hmm. I felt like it was a Holmes trait, or maybe they did screw. I don't know.
I just don't know.
Maybe she was like in love with him and they did it like once.
Yeah, I don't know.
Back when he was a lad. I don't know.
Man,
I don't know how old he is.
Enola caught up on it because she left her little caricature of him kissing her when she when she bounced. And I will say this too. This is the one weak point that sometimes happens. It's like her mama should have warned her about men, right? She trained her for everything. Yeah. She's like, oh, she's not trained in the way of the world. I was like, that would have been the number one lesson, right? But Enola figured it out. I guess we didn't really talk about huge plot points just for the fact of like, just watch the movie. You'll enjoy it. It was a delight. I remember my mom, she's like, that was enjoyable to watch. That's a good review.
It was.
Yeah, so yeah, we're going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, yes, we will talk about some things we may not have actually liked about the film and kind of go from there. Hey, Jasmine, I see you're getting better at graphic design.
Thanks. Yeah, I've been practicing a bit. Hoping I can do a few freelance jobs, maybe.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but it seems like it would take a lot of time for me to try and figure things out. I definitely don't have time to research starting a freelance business or where I should even start.
Yeah, starting a business can be pretty daunting, especially if you have to do it by yourself. You could probably ask Siren Vinay to help.
Siren Vinay?
Yeah. Siren Vinay is a business development and multimedia consultation and production. They specialize in helping individuals just like yourself who are trying to figure out how to bring their talents to the market.
Are you doing a promo commercial right now?
Not only that, but Siren Vinay's project management and marketing services will ensure that you can bring your products and services to an audience that is ready to receive them. They also utilize their production service to provide original and authentic content to the masses and can provide these skills to help you develop your business as well.
We're the only ones here. I don't know why you're...
Developing a business can be hard, but it doesn't have to be. Siren Vinay can provide the support you need to take your business from the idea phase to the automated phase.
Meaning...
Okay, look, you just want to focus on designing, right?
Yeah.
Well, Siren Vinay has a team that can help you research and develop your business. Things like trademark research, helping you figure out what business structure works for you, basically anything that has to do with internal processes and procedures that you'll need for developing and maintaining a business and for getting clients.
Okay, so I can just save all that time and focus on my designs.
Yep. And the best part is that Siren Vinay will keep you informed, and they'll also educate you on the entire process. That way, you'll feel more comfortable for how the entire business process and development works, and you can know that they'll have your business interests in mind. You can check them out at www.sirenvinay.com for more information, or you can email them at siren.vinayllc@gmail.com to learn more about what this company has to offer.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Just make sure to check out Siren Vinay, and the website is www.sirenvinay.com. That is SYRENVANEE. And we're back. So, around this time, we talk about, things we liked, what we didn't, and just kind of like mesh it from our general input that we had earlier.
I feel like, this section we're talking about what we like and what we didn't. Well, I think that was the whole episode so far.
So, these episodes don't have a real structure, but y'all don't really care.
We actually have an outline, guys. We actually have a real outline.
Yeah, we should actually have like a cool, like, I don't know, like a special like fan segment or something. I'm actually considering doing like a fan fiction audio podcast where I find fan fiction authors and we basically turn their fanfic into like audiobooks per episode.
Well, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. So there's that. If anybody's interested in that, jot that note down, contact us, whatever. But anyway, so I think I talked a lot about what I like. So I guess what I didn't like is I feel kind of cheated because I wanted to actually see more of where this whole like female-led revolution, went to.
Yeah.
It felt like once Enola decided to chase after the
Viscount, and like get him to vote and everything, it's like, oh, all of their hard work and planning was basically for like nothing because Enola basically got their vote and like the right to vote just by helping out one dude and getting him not killed.
Was it the right to vote, or was it? I don't know. I guess that was the part that wasn't a little bit clear to me, just because I'm not familiar with English law or politics. But I know they were saying like something about men, right? And then they were saying something about like, oh, the country's going to turn if this thing goes through. So. And the whole plot of basically y'all killed this boy so he wouldn't vote. Actually, that's some deep stuff, so especially what we're talking about in today's society. But it just kind of felt like it turned from what could have been an interesting like delve into this secret society of female leaders who were literally not afraid to blow shit up into just like, just save this one boy and he'll take care of everything for you.
I would have loved to see, because like there was a lot of planning, and her mom being, the genius that she was and all of her secret codes, like she was leading a secret society. Like I would have loved to see, more about that, and
and the drama of even the situation that puts all of her children in, right? Now, obviously, Mycroft probably would have had no problem slapping the cuffs on his mother if they caught her.
Right.
I feel like Sherlock is...
I don't know her.
I feel like with Sherlock, I don't know. I feel like he would have just been more interested in like solving the mystery of finding his mother, and then like what happens next, he would be just like, oh, well, as you were. Because, even when Enola was in the boarding school, he showed up, and that whole time I was just like, take her with you.
I know. I wanted him to, like, I was so mad that he didn't take her. Like, I don't know, like, with the right people, I don't think, Enola would be that much trouble. And I feel like he'd be perfect for Sherlock, because, like, she would match wits and, like, go do her own thing.
Right. I mean, like, she solved that crime before he did.
I'm so mad he didn't take her. I'm so mad, like, that, like, when Mycroft and Sherlock were talking about her, and Mycroft goes, well, she's my ward. Like, I wanted Sherlock to be like, well, I'll take her. Like, he didn't even, like, Mycroft didn't even, entertain the fact of, like, hey, I don't like this girl, let's push her off to you, kind of thing.
And I think that was partially, though, that was kind of represented throughout the film, is that that's just not, that wasn't part of Sherlock's character, Like she said, she's like, it took Mother disappearing for you to show up, because Sherlock loved the mystery more than he loved the, like, concept of being with his family. I mean, that's what everyone said. There was just like, oh, the housemaid she's like, oh, she ran circles around me just like you did, but I hope you don't abandon this time. And Edith was just like, because you don't know what it's like to not have power, so of course you can have the privilege to ignore politics or whatever.
Right. You can just write it off because it doesn't affect you.
Exactly. And, he got checked for that the whole movie. And I think even within the Sherlock Holmes character, there's always been this disconnect from society, like, in general.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like layers on top of layers of just like, it's not just because he's like a white male, it's also just because Sherlock himself, like in every version we've seen him, has struggled to be a part of society in general. He sticks outside of that. And now you have Enola, who was purposely kept from that, right? Like her mother kept her like in this manner, far from society, to the point that and for that, she handled herself pretty well. The whole thing, though, that I was like, oh yeah, you really don't know the ways of the world, because she pulls out this wad of cash in front of this woman.
Oh my God. I was like, no, do that. I thought that woman's going to snatch that money, first of all. Or like, I knew she was totally going to like take her for a ride on the lodging.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I bet she's charging like a crazy amount for that like really crappy room.
And she's over here like, oh, this is I said, nah, bitch, when she has rats,
And
even
poor
in
little
London.
Enola didn't know the difference.
She didn't. I mean, like, we'll say this: homegirl knows how to adapt, so I guess that wasn't really a problem. But just when like they found out that was it? I almost called him LeFou.
LeFou. I mean, he was basically at times just like LeFou.
LeFou. What is his name again?
Tewksbury.
No. The detective that Lestrade.
Oh, Lestrade. I was gonna say Lestat.
When he was, when they went to the house and they were trying to get her, and she was like, "I found the one to put." I was like, "Of course you did. Of course you were a sellout. That's literally what your character was about, and the whole thing with two, I don't know. And also too, look, if y'all are going to be feminists and y'all going to raise your daughters to be independent and self-sufficient, you have to remind them that there is high potential they can run into a fine-looking dude, and all that feminism is going to get challenged, especially if they're not used to being around men.
Right? And I didn't want her to fall for him. It's the classic, like, of course, first dude she's introduced to, she's going to fall for. I'm like, come on.
I appreciate that they never kissed, though. And I appreciate that it was left with this kind of like, she was just like, no, like, I'm interested, but no, I shall not. So I do appreciate that.
Because she is only 16.
That's true. But, 16-year-olds fall in love all the time. That's half the little teenage romance movies.
Yeah.
And the whole thing with her, I don't know. There's a lot I like, but there's a lot of things that I kind of reflected on, especially as like the aim of the film, right, is to not be afraid of change and to recognize, like, yes, the world isn't built for you, but you can learn to adapt and navigate through it. And even the whole thing with Sherlock Holmes, wanting him and her to have more of a bonding moment, to have more of this kind of like mentoring type thing, I also recognize would detract from the whole point of Enola being independent of herself and independent of her brothers.
Right.
And Mycroft, he needed to chill out with that whole, like,
oh my God, Mycroft.
And I was thinking to myself, I said, was he always like, do I reflect upon him being this aggravating in the other versions? Because I know Benedict Cumberbatch, him and Sherlock butted heads a lot, right? But to the extent of where he is screaming at a 16-year-old girl in a carriage who is his sister, who he knows has not been around other people, I was just like, damn.
Oh, it's like, wear your gloves.
Yeah. He's like,
she has no gloves.
He's like, you are my ward. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, leave her. This little girl just lost her mother. Like, even if you don't even care about your mother, she at least just lost her. Give her like a little bit of grace. Like, she is probably terrified and worried and very upset, and you're just yelling at her.
Yeah. And it's just so funny how, like, the things in this movie that it feels like as modern women, we were like, this is unacceptable.
Yeah. Like,
So yeah, I enjoyed the movie. I like the characters. I like the style of like detectiveness that Enola had.
I love detective movies. I love Sherlock Holmes. Like, the whole just idea of it.
Now, would you say that the mystery itself was something you solved early on? Like, did you figure out like the whodunit moment until it just happened?
I try not to. I really actively try not to think of the whodunit because I just want to be lost in the story. Like, I don't want to sit here being distracted from the movie while I'm trying to figure out, oh, was it the maid with the lead pipe in the conservatory? No, like, I just want to watch the movie and be pleasantly surprised. Like, oh,
so you're not rushing.
Oh, I see. No, like, I didn't think, like, I honestly thought they were never going to find her mom again. And I thought she was never going to come back. And I was very surprised that she did.
I don't know what I thought. I know all I knew was that the more she uncovered, the more I got interested in her mom's story. So that by the time she switched off to the other mystery, I was just, I don't care. I don't. I mean, I did, but I was more like, I was more invested in your mom. But sure, I guess let's go do this now.
Sure, let's see who's trying to kill this spoiled little boy.
Who, yes, he grew into his own a little bit. He wasn't, I will say this, he was not as aggravating as the archetypes for like spoiled, like those spoiled, nobility characters that they normally have.
Well, he was a modern gentleman, which is why they wanted him dead.
Oh, that's right. Him and his papa. And that whole story was wild. I was like, dang.
I didn't think of that one. I thought it was his uncle. Did not realize it was his grandmama.
Actually, I think there was a part, like, I think as soon as I saw her, I was like, I know exactly why she did it. Because then I immediately remember when she was talking to Enola in the garden about like how the country is. I was like, oh, that's why grandma's doing it. She ain't letting because she's like, she's been on this
country's changing.
Yeah, because because she has the estate, so like she must protect the land in the name of England. And I was like, yep, that's exactly why mom did it. Now, the way they made it sound like the uncle knew about it, but just like wasn't involved. So I was surprised when
I bet he did.
When the uncle was there at the end, I was just like, so you was just not going to say nothing, huh? Right? Because the uncle was the red herring.
Yeah, he had to have known.
Well, I think they were trying to say like, oh, he was off to war, so that's why you had no idea. And also too, it's not like they could have been texting like, hey, just letting you know your brother died. Sad face emoji. Send. And he was like,
if anyone texts me that someone died, I would be very upset.
How much would that go up if there was emojis involved? Like sad face emoji, thumbs down, tear-eyed emoji.
I would be irritated at that person. Like, so who are you to the core where you're using emojis in this serious sense?
You took the time to look those emojis up to be like, no, maybe I should use sad face, or maybe I should use tear face. Oh, but see, the tear face one looks like I'm laughing instead of crying. I'll just do a thumbs down.
Well, it's like just do so and so died. Period. It cuts you more to the core.
I don't know if I would text someone that though.
I don't think I would text someone.
Because I don't know.
Maybe
when you told me Chadwick died, you sent that in a phone call. You knew better than to text that.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that you were good, and I wanted to hear your voice, that you were okay at this moment before I laid some heavy news on you.
I was just like, what's up? Because it was so funny. Because I was just like, oh, maybe she wants something. So I was like, what? What do you want?
You were like You answered in like a pretty chipper mood. I was like, oh shit, you don't know. At that moment, I knew you didn't know.
Yeah, you said that. You said in your voice, you said, oh, you don't know. That's exactly how you said that. So then me and my mom's like, we were like, oh shit. Oh, because it's 2020. We have no idea what you could say. You could have been like, oh, you didn't hear? We're in World War III. Or, oh, you didn't hear? New York exploded. We had no idea.
Honestly, I think I would text you if that happened, if those happened.
Oh my gosh.
But those are textable. It's like, oh, but, Chadwick Boseman died. Like, I got to call you.
I think the point is, y'all, if y'all listening, if you have an emotional news to give it to in the most soothing way. Do not text that shit. Don't do that. Because also, too, then that person is just going to have to sit with that text message in there. Yeah, you can delete it. But you're going to open your phone, or if you're one of those people who have like the preview messages and you just see dead and you're like, no, I can't, I don't. It's like, that's why I don't get, I don't get people who can do the CNN and like news headline updates. Cause y'all heart rate must be up all the time. Every time you hear a ding,
I'd be hyperventilating.
Every time there's a ding on your phone.
Well, okay. If you text me bad news that is definitely expected, that's different than like a surprise.
Yeah.
Like if I knew like something was coming, yeah, you can text me.
You're like, yep, it happened. You're like, all right. But to get back on track, I guess, yeah. So that's what I like.
This took a turn.
I think, yeah, that's what happens. We're just being natural flowing.
I know, but I do want to say my favorite part though. Eventually,
yeah. I think it might be the same as mine, but go ahead.
Favorite part of Enola Holmes. The part that made my heart do a little flutter was at the very end, and Sherlock was in Lestat's. Wow,
see,
Lestrade. No, we're moving it to Interview with the Vampire.
Le Fou.
So Lestrade's office. That's how little he means to everybody. That's how we can't remember.
Because earlier you were like, he basically is Le Fou. The fool.
So when Sherlock Holmes is in Lestat's office and he was going over, some information, and Lestat was just like,
Lestrade.
oh, I don't, God dang it. Okay. Lestrade. When Lestrade was saying, oh, I just have one more question. That was my really terrible British accent. I'm sorry.
Hang on. I just have. No, that was nope. As soon as it came, nope.
Hey, I just have one more.
I just got one more. Hang on. Harry Potter, Mr. Potter. I just have one more question. Mr. Potter. Why is that like supposed to be my?
Sorry, guys. Please don't unsubscribe.
Oh,
please don't unfollow us.
Oh my gosh,
we're doing our best. Okay. When Lestrade was asking Sherlock, as Sherlock was walking away, just one more question: How did your sister get to, the murder before you did? And he just lets out like this hugest smile and just goes, ha, and it was so cute. It was he's like oh, of course, ha, she got it.
I love that too. And it's because he was walking down the hallway and it was like he was still thinking about it. He was just like, ha. Yeah. And I think it's too because right before then he told her to follow the mystery, right? Because Sherlock's like, look, he's like, in social skills department, got nothing for you, sis. All right. So the least I can do is at least help you out on how to figure a mystery.
Right.
And just for him, it was almost like, and I think that might have solidified when he was like, I want her to be my ward, because that was so cool. Like, she did it, She beat him. Yeah, she beat me. And I think that was a great brother moment, because, you should want your little sibling to excel at something, even if it's something that you think you're good at too, because y'all don't be jealous out here. Mentor people. You want people to strive, because when people strive and are better and good, we can I
cannot stand people who keep information to themselves.
That's hoarding.
Especially in my job, when people ask me how to do something, I don't get afraid for my status and my work. I don't get afraid that they're going to replace me. I'm like, no, by all means, know what I know, so I don't have to do it anymore. I can go do something else.
Exactly. But when you're successful, I think some people will give information and have this kind of hope that yeah, I told you, but I still hope it doesn't work out for you, because then you're better at me than something, And it's just nice to see that Sherlock was clearly not see, if that was Mycroft, his bitch ass would have been like, ugh, how dare she? Yeah.
She'd be like, never speak of this again. Here's 50 million euros. I don't know the currency.
Excuse me, Mr. Potter.
Pounds.
Dude, Mr. Potter.
Harry Potter.
You're Harry Potter.
This is why I am not good at improv. I can't do accents. I was terrible in acting class because I'm not good at pretending.
I feel acting. When I go to London one day and I'm going to be in there, stop. I don't know.
You better not go to London and try a British accent. They will see right through you and they will get mad.
See right through you. They will be furious. They're like, are you mocking us?
Yeah. But they'll never say anything because
I don't know.
From what I told.
From what I've been told, it depends on where I'm at in London.
All right, hopefully we're in the nice part.
So spoiler, Enola's mom does pop up and she's like, yo, because, and also to the whole movie, once again, another bitch move by Mycroft, where he was just like, then why did she leave you? If she loved you, why did she leave you?
Yeah, it's like, she obviously had her reasons that you were not privy to because you're a jerk, Mycroft.
Oh my gosh, this character, I could not stand him. I was just like, I got nothing.
Why you gotta be such a jerk?
I don't even.
Why?
I mean, at the very least, Sherlock was quiet, And then,
if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all.
And that's literally what he did that whole movie. He was just like, sorry,
but not I don't think he had bad things to say.
I think it was probably one of those things. It looked like one of those things where he just knew his brother and knew there was no point. He was just like, whatever, Mycroft. You know how there are certain family members that they just have something to say all the time, and you're just like, you know what? Sure, go ahead.
Oh, do I ever know that?
But I think, so I will say, okay, so on a scale of, we should have a fun scale for our podcast, on a scale of 10 agents to 1. I don't know.
10 agents to
Well,
one? Is this like a shootout?
We're agents. Okay, so of something in line with the movie. Oh, in terms of out of 10 roses, because there was the whole flower thing. 1 out of 10 roses. How many roses would you give this movie? 10 being a full bouquet of joy, and 1 being like you are upset that this wilted flower. I got very poetic about it.
I'd give it a 7 or 8, a 7.5.
I'll go with that. I'll go with 8, just because I want it to even out the score, so it would be still 7.5.
Okay,
on average.
it would be 7.75.
Well, I would say it would have been more, like I said, if I had gotten to see more of the whole storyline, and then maybe too, I may adjust this if we find out that the reason they left it open is so that they could have a sequel, or that maybe that's. Because maybe
I hope they have a sequel. Because maybe also I just want the audience to understand. Even if I give it a 7, that doesn't mean I like it. I would still watch something that I would give a 4 to. I watch a wide range of stuff, even if Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 2 tomato. I'm like, I'll still watch it.
Ratings are just so suggestive. They're so suggestive because, like, even if you take Black films that have low ratings or whatever, you have to take into account, well, who are the people who are rating it and who is the film actually written for and like touched to,
right?
Because it's just subjective. Some people just don't get it. Some people, that's not their jam, and they watched it and they're like, oh, I didn't like it, 2 stars. So
right, like, that's your opinion,
right? Because some stuff, and then some of the very things that you dislike about a movie could be the things that other people like. So that's the literally fun part about movies and shows is like, oh, I couldn't stand how this person time travels every episode. And someone's like, I love that part, So we're at the end of our episode where we'll probably become like its own informal segment of us arguing over what the next episode will be.
Before we get to that, I just want to say I freaking love Henry Cavill. I've loved him since Count of Monte Cristo. I guess I'm dating myself. I mean, it's kind of an old movie.
I was like, Jasmine, how? What?
Were you saying one should date themselves?
I thought you meant like, I don't know. I guess I thought you were.
I'm saying you should date yourself.
No,
you should.
I agree with that, but I was like, what does that have to do with? I thought you were saying an unrelated statement, as if to say you're like, I'm dating myself. I'm a friend of Harvard. I was like, what does that have to do with being a fan of Henry Cavill?
The movie was old, and I'm just making a point. Like
I get that now. I'm just saying I didn't get it before. This happens sometimes.
Yeah. Also, and I love that he is a nerd and a gamer. I love that he played World of Warcraft. I love that he built a PC and like basically streamed it. I love it. I love all of it. So
just shooting our shot out there, putting it into the universe. Anyone, if he wants to like upvote this or tweet this or comment, shout out to Henry Cavill. If you are free and you would love to talk about nerd stuff one day on our podcast, we would totally be down for that as a guest. Was a guest host or I guess interview technically? Yeah, free promotion for your show. The Witcher's coming up, season 2, which I saw the promo pic. Pretty awesome. We could do.
We will even allow you, Henry, to pick the movie or TV series you want to talk about, maybe, or video game.
That could be another segment we could do where we shout out to celebrities and offer them chances to talk on our podcast. I submit.
You know what? No, we have to dream big and put it in the universe.
Exactly. So Henry Cavill, you are our first guest that we invite onto this show. Have your agents reach us. We don't have agents, but we
have an email.
We have email, and we will definitely read that email from your agent.
And we will make an actual email for this. I know. Don't even. I can like feel you glaring at me.
I'm pretty sure we have one.
I know you told you. No, not for this one. You told me to, and I didn't. Did you?
No. It's for our other podcast.
We're still getting our administrative services.
Yeah.
Up and going during this COVID times, but definitely. By then, hit us up if you want to co-host an episode.
Yep.
Your choice.
It'll be of free reign for you to nerd out on whatever you want. We welcome it. And yeah, so I guess this is the time where we talk about what we're going to talk about next episode.
And also, everyone, every time we do this, we actually do not know We don't talk, like, we're like, best friends in real life. We don't talk about exactly what episode we're going to do next.
At all.
We don't. We save it for this, for your pleasure, to get to know us a little bit better, I guess. I don't know if it helps. I don't know.
Organic way to understand how we think and work. Like I said, we both have our preferences. I feel like we mesh well together, because like, while we clearly have like our own areas that we prefer more. For instance, I just got done playing Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance.
Oh, did you finish it?
Yes. And let me tell you something. I was playing, it was around the later battles, like towards the end of the game. I need to figure out how to do a command for my Twitch stream to count how many times I died, because that would just be a fun way for y'all to come in and be like, oh, Kay got wiped out 35 times. That's
embarrassing.
I don't understand it. And that's always the Kingdom Hearts games. I could play all the other, I play Horizon Zero Dawn, I play Avengers, I play all the other stuff. But something about that Disney magic, there's like, so you thought you was just going to do this boss battle in like 2 minutes and be done?
But that goes back to when we were like, in middle school and high school, and we would like play every other boss. We died a lot.
We rotated players for, I think, just the Cerberus boss.
Oh, you know what? No. This is not the platform, though. We do not speak of Cerberus in regard to our Kingdom Hearts. We do not speak of that dark period, that dark day.
It was funny though, because when I did play Kingdom Hearts like most recently, and I got to that boss fight, it was already like my mind was just like, not today. You shall not defeat me today. And I got through him. Good. After the second time I died. Because I run out of, and I realized, and that's
eventually you need more potions.
And then I will say this, gamers, don't be afraid to research your battles, right? Even if you go into war, you got to research your opponents, you got to research what's going on. Don't be afraid to look up when they tell you to have 3 cure spells and potions, because at that point it's basically like keep you alive game, because they're throwing all these freaking balls of darkness and whatever, and you can barely stay alive because every time you use your heal spell, it immediately hits you, and so you're already. And I said, if I hear that like like that chime.
Oh, the chime of your low health.
Yes, and I was just, I know, okay.
Or you're about to die and Goofy doesn't heal you; he heals himself instead. Who's only been hit once?
He will freaking heal Donald, who has like
Donald
got slapped once, and Goofy's like, here. I'm like, really? Here.
Okay. We have to get back on track. This is already a long episode. We apologize, guys, but this movie was really good, and it's nice because we both watched it.
Yes.
Unlike a couple things, we haven't both experienced everything, but we have to get to what is.
I forgot next. One of the other real parts. Whatever. It was just the corkscrew move. Remember when Edith was telling Enola, she's like, you never quite mastered that. And I told my mom, I was like, she's going to use it one more time. It's going to mess her up, and then she's going to get to use it the right time. That's a movie thing. When they point out,
it took her a couple tries.
Like they point out the skill, and by the end of the movie, the character is like actually pretty good at it, and it saves them in a crunch. So,
well, I mean, of course that was going to happen.
Yeah, but I was just saying, I enjoyed that, even though I knew exactly what was going to happen.
Okay,
I have listed Avatar: The Last Airbender, Star Trek Discovery. We talked about that. I mean, technically, I'm
now throwing out Alice in Wonderland. We can do
which one?
You know what? We could do the book.
I'm not reading a book right now.
Oh, the book's messed up though.
No, okay. Well,
she's like 5 in the book, and all this stuff is happening to her. It was just a suggestion. Book, movie. I'm just thinking we haven't done a book. I mean, we could do a game, but I don't have a ton of time to play a game. Get through a game. I mean, we could talk about your Kingdom Hearts when I watched you play a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't know enough about Kingdom Hearts to,
exactly
chime in.
That game was like a retelling, which was kind of nice because the next game is Kingdom Hearts 3. I had to figure out which game I have to play next for my stream, because I have Kingdom Hearts 3, Spider-Man, or Dragon Ball's Kakarot. And I feel like I have to pace myself with the Kingdom Hearts game because it infuriated me so much. Because I already know. I'm like, oh, I'll get to get through this in 1 weekend. No, I won't.
No, you won't.
I won't.
Don't even.
Why would I set myself? Maybe I should do.
Okay. Separate topic of what you'll play next. But if anyone has stuck with this far, you are a saint, and we appreciate and love you. But Kayla, we owe them this, that we need to figure out what we're doing next so we can end the podcast.
We could do Avatar: The Last Airbender. Have you watched that recently?
Yeah, like 2 months ago. Do you want to do like all of it, or like
how many seasons are there? 2.
There's four books. 4 seasons.
You said books. Because each
they're broken up into books.
Oh, okay. See, that's how long it's been since I watched it. Yeah, I started watching it and like the episodes were real quick, so I feel like I could get that through a weekend.
Right, same. Like I think,
and so far it's a delight. So,
well, I binge watched it, so I think I need to go back and just watch the first season because I don't remember exactly all what happened and like breaking it up.
Yeah. Let's do Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Which is the air chapter.
Yes. And I think because they're still supposed to do live action, I don't know. I refuse to hold any excitement for that because I was cheated before.
So I actually have not, and I'm sure we'll rehash this later. I saw the live action movie years before I watched the actual cartoon. So I don't know why it was bad.
Oh, Jasmine.
So should we do the movie?
Oh God.
Should we do the movie? We keep doing things that we like. We need to do stuff like
God. We need to watch the show before, especially you. I mean, you said you watched it, but like you need to rewatch the show and then you need to watch the movie. Because I'm pretty sure they watched that movie too, even though the show is based off of Asian cultures. But oh my God, okay. I can't believe you watched the movie before you watched the show.
I didn't know. I literally that was one of my COVID things, and I say COVID loosely because I still worked the entire pandemic. But it was one of the things that I was watching with my husband, and we binge watch it. It was more of he actually started watching it. He was in the second season, and I was like, "Ooh, what's this? I kind of want to watch this." He's like, "Do you just want to restart it?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah."
Okay, so we'll do Avatar, and then if we have time, we'll watch the movie, and then we'll come back on to talk about
the first season of Avatar: Last Bender.
Because the movie basically, I think, takes, if I remember correctly, takes part only in the first movie. I mean, the first season anyway. So that'll be interesting to compare that, but yeah.
Okay, folks, we are settled on what the next episode 6 is going to be. It's going to be the first season of Avatar: Last Airbender, and I really hope that's season 6 or episode 6. 1, 2, I think so.
6, yeah.
Again, if you guys
will be part of a series anyway,
Well, of this episode, I'm also trying to make sure I get don't lose the stuff. But yes, like I said, if you stuck with us this long, we love you. You're wonderful human beings, and you deserve all the happiness in your life. And if you didn't stick out this long, heck you, but you will never know I said that.
Thank you for listening. For all you people out there who love Nerds and Fandom, if you guys got a show that you think we would like to watch to just chat about, and if you know someone who has connections to Henry Cavill and could get him this message, that'd be appreciated too.
We are offering co-hosting.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
We're offering a space for some more free promotion. Y'all love promotion in Hollywood. Y'all love that stuff. So yeah, thanks for listening, agents, and we will see you next time, or listen to you next time.
What?
Wait. Or they'll listen to us next time.
Hopefully you'll listen to us next time after this.
Exactly.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.